Hey there, Roothaven Grounds family. Today I'm thrilled to share one of my absolute favorite container gardening projects with you, growing beautiful, crisp bell peppers from seed. There's something incredibly satisfying about planting a tiny seed and watching it transform into a productive pepper plant loaded with colorful fruits. Whether you're working with a small balcony, a sunny patio, or just prefer the convenience of container gardening, I promise you that growing bell peppers this way is not only possible but incredibly rewarding. Let's dig in and get those pepper plants thriving. Before we even touch soil, let's talk about selecting the perfect pepper varieties for your container garden. Not all bell peppers are created equal when it comes to container growing, and choosing wisely from the start will set you up for success. I've found that compact varieties like California Wonder, Lipstick, and Mohawk tend to perform exceptionally well in pots because they don't get as leggy or top-heavy as some larger varieties. When you're shopping for seeds, pay attention to the days to maturity listed on the packet. This number tells you how long from transplanting to harvest you can expect. For container growing, I generally recommend varieties that mature in 60 to 75 days. These mid-season peppers strike that perfect balance between giving you enough time to develop strong plants while not requiring such an extended growing season that you're fighting frost dates. Color matters too, and I'm not just talking aesthetics here. Green bell peppers are simply unripe versions of their colorful counterparts, which means they'll produce earlier. If you're patient enough to let them ripen to red, yellow, orange, or even purple, you'll be rewarded with sweeter, more flavorful peppers. Just know that this patience requires about 2 to 3 extra weeks on the plant. Container size is where I see many gardeners stumble, so let's get this right from the beginning. Bell peppers need room to develop a robust root system, and skimping on container size will dramatically limit your harvest. I recommend a minimum of 5 gallons per plant, but honestly, going with a 7 to 10 gallon container will give you noticeably better results. The material of your container matters more than you might think. Fabric grow bags have become my go-to choice because they promote excellent air pruning of roots and prevent that dreaded root-bound situation. They're also lightweight and easy to move if you need to chase the sun or protect plants from unexpected weather. Traditional plastic pots work perfectly fine too, just make sure they're not black if you live in a hot climate, as they'll absorb heat and potentially cook your roots. Drainage is absolutely non-negotiable. Your container must have adequate drainage holes, and I mean multiple holes, not just one sad little opening at the bottom. Bell peppers despise sitting in waterlogged soil, and poor drainage is one of the fastest ways to lose a plant to root rot. Bell peppers need a head start, and that means beginning your seeds indoors about 8 to 10 weeks before your last expected frost date. These plants are tropical at heart and take their sweet time germinating, especially if conditions aren't ideal. I've found that patience during this phase pays enormous dividends later. Fill seed starting trays or small pots with a quality seed starting mix, not regular potting soil. Seed starting mix is lighter, sterile, and specifically formulated to give those delicate seedlings the best possible start. Plant your seeds about 1/4 inch deep, 2 seeds per cell or small pot to hedge your bets against germination failures. Once they sprout and develop their first true leaves, you can snip away the weaker seedling at soil level. Here's the secret sauce that, honestly, a lot of beginners miss: heat. Pepper seeds absolutely love warmth for germination, ideally somewhere between 75 and 85 degrees Fahrenheit. Without adequate warmth, germination can take, 3 weeks or even longer, and some seeds may not sprout at all. I use a seedling heat mat under my trays, and I've seen germination improve dramatically. Within 7 to 10 days with proper heat, you should see those first green shoots pushing through. Once your seedlings emerge, they need strong light right away. Place them under grow lights positioned about 2 to 3 inches above the leaves, running for 14 to 16 hours every day. Inadequate light creates those sad, stretched, leggy seedlings that never quite recover their vigor. When your seedlings have developed several sets of true leaves and all danger of frost has passed, it's time to think about transplanting. But hey, don't rush this transition. Hardening off is crucial, and honestly, skipping this step is gardening heartbreak just waiting to happen. Start the hardening off process about 10 days before your planned transplant date. Place your seedlings outside in a sheltered, shaded spot for just an hour or two on the first day. Gradually increase their time outdoors and exposure to direct sun over the next week and a half. By the final days, they should be spending full days and nights outside in their permanent location. This gradual transition allows the plant to toughen up its cell structure and adjust to wind, direct sunlight, and temperature fluctuations. All right, when you're transplanting into your final container, you'll want to fill it up with a high-quality potting mix that's enriched with compost. Now, don't use regular garden soil, since it's just too dense for containers and will end up compacting over time, which can actually suffocate your pepper roots. Make sure to plant your pepper seedling at the same depth it was growing in its starter pot. Unlike tomatoes, peppers really don't benefit from deep planting. Just gently firm the soil around the base and water thoroughly to settle everything in. Bell peppers are real sun worshippers, and they need at least 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight every day for optimal production. If you live in a particularly hot climate, some afternoon shade can actually be helpful, but for most folks, more sun just means more peppers. So, go ahead and position your containers where they're going to get the maximum sunlight, and remember, you can always move them around as the season goes on. Temperature management is, well, another key factor for happy peppers. Peppers really thrive when daytime temperatures are between 70 and 85 degrees Fahrenheit, and nighttime temps stay above 60 degrees. But when those temperatures start climbing above 90 degrees on a regular basis, you might notice your pepper plants dropping their blossoms and kind of pausing fruit production. So if you're dealing with a heat wave, it's a good idea to provide some temporary shade cloth during the hottest part of the day. You know, container-grown plants really do have some unique watering needs compared to their in-ground cousins. The soil in containers dries out much faster, especially during those hot summer days, so keeping consistent moisture is just super important. I actually check my pepper containers every day during peak summer, and honestly, they often need watering every single day, or even twice daily if it's extremely hot. The main goal here is to keep the soil consistently moist, but never waterlogged. So, just stick your finger about 2 inches into the soil, and if it feels dry at that depth, well, it's time to water. Make sure to water slowly and thoroughly until you see it running from the drainage holes. Since container soil is kind of a closed system with limited nutrients, feeding your peppers becomes really essential. I usually start fertilizing about 2 weeks after transplanting, using a balanced, water-soluble fertilizer every 2 weeks. Once flowers appear, I switch to a fertilizer with higher phosphorus content to encourage better fruit production. Some gardeners swear by fish emulsion or compost tea, and I have to say, I've had excellent results with both organic options. As your pepper plants grow and begin setting fruit, they'll appreciate some support. I install a small tomato cage or place a sturdy stake next to each plant early in the season. This prevents branches from breaking under the weight of multiple peppers and keeps the plant tidy and accessible. Pruning isn't strictly necessary for peppers, but strategic snipping can improve your harvest. I pinch off the first few flowers that appear on young plants, which redirects energy into building a stronger root system and more robust plant structure. Once the plant is well established and about a foot tall, I let all subsequent flowers develop into fruit. Removing any suckers growing from the main stem's lowest few inches, also improves air circulation and focuses energy upward. Even with perfect care, challenges can arise. Aphids and spider mites love pepper plants, so inspect your containers regularly. A strong spray of water often dislodges aphids, while spider mites respond well to insecticidal soap applications. I've found that companion planting basil or marigolds nearby helps deter many pests naturally. If your plants are flowering but not setting fruit, temperature extremes or inadequate pollination might be the culprit. You can hand pollinate by gently tapping flowers or using a small paintbrush to transfer pollen between blooms. This technique has saved many of my pepper crops during periods when bee activity was low. Yellowing leaves typically signal either overwatering, underfeeding, or a nitrogen deficiency. Adjust your watering schedule and ensure you're maintaining that regular feeding regimen. Remember that some lower leaf yellowing and drop is completely normal as plants mature. The moment you've been waiting for arrives when your peppers reach full size and develop their characteristic shape. Green peppers can be harvested any time after they reach usable size, typically when they're 3 to 4 inches long. For colored varieties, patience is your friend. Leave them on the plant until they achieve their final vibrant hue. Use clean, sharp pruning shears or scissors to cut peppers from the plant, leaving a short stem attached to the fruit. Pulling or twisting can damage branches and reduce future production. Each plant should produce 6 to 8 peppers throughout the season, and regular harvesting actually encourages more fruit set. There you have it, my friends, your complete roadmap to growing gorgeous bell peppers from seed in containers. I hope this guide inspires you to start your own pepper growing adventure. Remember, every expert gardener started as a beginner, and every failure teaches us something valuable for next season. If you found this guide helpful, please subscribe to Roothaven Grounds for more practical gardening wisdom, and share this article with anyone who might benefit from growing their own fresh, crispy peppers. Let's grow together, and happy gardening.